hit some anytime goal scorers as well as safe shots on goal for some of these goalies. Give me both teams to score in the first period. That's coming in at plus 185 compared to the over 1.5 that is at minus 120. Okay, you guys ready? Let's make some freaking money. It's time for Pocket with Jo. Good morning, everyone. Happy Thursday. Jo here, SportsGrid. It's time for a Pocket with Jo over here on SportsGrid TV on X. I can't wait for tonight's matchup. I know we talked it quickly on Tuesday after we realized what the final matchup would be here with Team USA taking on Team Canada, but you know we have to talk it again today, looking at some of these lines and where we're going to go, where we're going to jump in. Now, weigh in the comments who you are rooting for out there to get the job done. Are you going with Team USA or Team Canada for the win? Definitely want to hear what your thoughts are. Now we're going to see both of these teams come out with a fierce game plan to beat their opponents. We know in that last game, that Saturday night, we saw those 3 fights in 9 seconds. And if you didn't like it, then I don't know what to tell you out there. I thought it was the most epic start we have had in the NHL in a long time. Now, I had this argument with my mom. She just doesn't like the fighting anymore. But I do think it's part of the game. Rattling these players, getting under their skin. That's exactly what Team USA planned to do. Matthew and Brady Tkachuk coming out as the enforcers. The group chat was out there. They knew exactly how to rattle Canada, and that's what they did in that matchup. So if you don't like the fighting, I understand why you don't like it, but it's always going to be part of such a physical game here. It keeps these players in check as well. They know their defensemen, top forwards like Connor McDavid. You're not seeing him in a fight. You know his defensemen are going to stick up for him. There are such hard-hitting plays out there. The forechecks of Team USA is relentless, and we need those players to step up for the players that aren't going to get in those fights and to step up for their goaltending, because otherwise it could be absolute mayhem out there. You could see players coming out just to take out a player, knowing there'd be no retaliation in that play. And in that case, it would be just detrimental for the whole league overall. So the fighting has to stay, in my opinion. That is just my 2 cents. I know a lot of media has been taking flack, but that's my opinion, and I'm going to stay there. These players also, I look at these fights, I don't think that they're really, yes, they're making contact, but you know, there could be an accident. There could be someone slipping. There could be a hard hit to their head if they fall on the ice. But these players, when they fight out there, I look at it as it's a little bit softer. And people saying, you know, it's WWE style kind of, right? Like it's for entertainment out there. But let's jump into tonight's matchup because that's where we want to go. Looking at this game, still a total of 5.5 with that juice to the under, and sign me up all freaking day. This is going to be that defensive, hard-hitting battle that we want to see out there on the ice. I don't see a ton of goals coming, and I think this one has the opportunity of going to overtime. The overtime bet in this one coming in at plus 320, sign me up. But with that total of 5.5, there's a little bit of fear here of going to OT. So with that fear of going to OT 3-3 instead of 2-2, which I expect it to be, I think the best way to tackle this total is isolating the total in the first period. First period, under 1.5 goals at minus 132. Yes, you're going to have to lay the juice. You have to lay the juice on the full game total. But what I'm seeing in this one is these teams coming out cautious. I'm also looking for goaltending to stand on their freaking head. Now, when we talk about these teams, when we talk about goaltending, Connor Hellebuck is the stronger of the two for Team USA out here. He has allowed 2 goals so far in the round robin stages. He didn't play in that last game. Those 2 goals both came in transition. So he's going to have to be very careful because Connor McDavid, we know, scored that one on him in transition to really make sure his defense are able to take it back away in their zone, because if they're not, we're going to see those transition goals coming nicely for Team Canada. And when we look at Jordan Binnington, you've got to hate the stress if you're cheering for Canada that this goaltender is going to be under. Jordan Binnington, if Team Canada loses, will be the scapegoat that will be the reason everyone will be saying he lost. And then John Cooper is going to be criticized for not starting Aiden Hill. You know that is coming. I'm looking for Jordan Binnington to freaking stand so tall between the pipes tonight. He's so aggressive with that puck, and he's able to make those plays with the puck instead of just falling on it and forcing that face off. I'm looking for Jordan Binnington to definitely go over 25.5 safe shots on goal. Now it's juicy at -130. He stopped 20 of 22 shots on his goal in the last game versus Team USA, 23 of 26 versus Finland. The last time he was in a big game like this, and it was in Boston. And you know when it was in Boston in 2019, Stanley Cup Game 7 finals, Jordan Binnington was able to record the win, stopping 32 of 33 shots on his net. Look for that Jordan Binnington to show up tonight. Look for him to silence the haters out there. He has allowed 2 soft goals, yes, but in those games, you got to feel for him. That little bit of puck luck comes in, and one of those was versus Team USA. I'm looking for a really strong performance out of Jordan Binnington for him to give Team Canada the best chance to get the win here. So when we look at Connor Hellebuyck, he stopped 25-26 shots on his net in that last game versus a Team Canada, and he did have the night off. So I'm looking at him to maybe come out a little rusty. I think they should have played him in that last matchup. I understand the reasoning of giving him the night off. And yeah, if you guys can hit that like, subscribe, or retweet button, I would so greatly appreciate it. So first, we're going to look at the goaltenders. Jordan Binnington over 25.5 safe shots on goal. Connor Hellebuyck over 27.5 safe shots on goal. Now, I know in that last game, Canada only put up 26 shots on goal. Jordan Binnington saving 25 of those, but I do think John Cooper really has this team firing more in this matchup. In that last game, they played around with the puck way too much. They were looking like they were trying to play pretty out there. They have to play like they played that last game versus Finland. Put the puck on the freaking net, get those rebounds, and hit the goaltender hard. So I'm looking for that more style of game out of Team Canada in this one. When we look at who I think can be super aggressive out there, we know Team USA, their strengths are 1, their goaltending, and 2, their forecheck. You look at the forecheck here, Matthew and Brady Tkachuk, so aggressive in their games out there on the ice. You also have Boldy as well, who can come out nice and strong, and JT Miller. So you look at the strength of that forecheck, and what counters that forecheck here for Team Canada? Well, Cale Makar, Team Canada has won both games with him on the ice. He missed that game versus Team USA, and he's that much of a difference maker out here for Team Canada, especially against an aggressive, strong-hitting forecheck that the Team USA will bring on this team tonight. With Cale Makar, the elite defenseman out here, his ability to move out there on the ice, he's so fast with that puck, and be able to pass that off to his fast-flying forwards out there is something that Team Canada will have in this matchup that they didn't have in that last one Saturday. So Cale Makar is that big of a difference maker for me that I do think Canada is able to get the win. Now, you guys, a little bias here. I'm not going to lie, but it is very hard for one team to beat the other team. If we were rolling into this with Canada winning the last game in the fashion that Team USA won the last game, and with those injuries, if the roles were reversed, you guys, I definitely wouldn't be looking at Canada for the win. With how they play into this game, with having to win that last game, I think it's very hard for Team USA, with how banged up they are, to be able to come in and beat Canada 2 times in a row. I honestly wish we could see 3 games between these 2 teams, because I do think one, they're freaking amazing games out there on the ice. These players are giving 500% out there. And I know Team USA is dealing with injuries. We won't see Charlie McAvoy in the lineup. He did play in that last game for a solid chunk of minutes versus Team Canada. So huge loss for them defensively. So we won't see him out there. We're going to see a couple other players stepping up in this one. There's been talk of Quinn Hughes joining the lineup, and talks of him being scrapped, that he wasn't cleared medically to join the lineup. So still uncertain. No official word that I've seen on Quinn Hughes and what is happening. It would be amazing to see Quinn and Jack playing together, but you know they'll end up playing in the Olympics. But we do have the Tkachuk brothers out here. Questions on how healthy they are. Again, Matthew and Brady are going to give it 110%. even if they're injured. The only way they're going to come off the ice is if medical pulls them off the ice in these matchups. So look for the fire out of both of these teams. Look for a lower scoring defensive battle, though this is going to be a hard-hitting game. I know we started that last game with 3 fights in 9 minutes. It just can't happen in this game. I'm not seeing it play out that way. I would be looking in the third period. The only way the fights start is if one team is down 3-1 and it gets scrappy in those final minutes, as those teams, their frustration really does boil over. So I would look for the fights late if they come. Team USA has to be so careful as well. You look at this power play for Team Canada. It is so fantastically strong. We saw it in that first matchup versus Sweden, how quickly they can score on that power play. Now, they've only gone 1 of 3 on the power play, so that was in that first game, but I do think your playmakers here for Team Canada on that power play are so strong that they won't be denied in this game, and Team USA absolutely knows it. So Cale Makar is a difference maker, and then what other players are we looking at here for Team Canada? Well, Connor McDavid, he had the lone goal in that last matchup versus Team USA and 3 shots on goal. He was able to get open, but then we saw some other players not be able to. In the last game versus Finland, we saw Connor McDavid with a goal and an assist and 3 shots. So he's been consistent over these last 2 games at really stepping up. In that first one, we didn't see it. I believe he got an assist in the first, but Connor McDavid for the goal tonight, plus 210. Now, you guys know that I've been looking at Connor McDavid and Sidney Crosby parlayed together for the points. You're going to get value tonight doing that, and I do think it's another strong way to go. Sidney Crosby for the goal, I will take as well, plus 360 for the anytime goal. And I think it's going to be a lower scoring game, but between Connor McDavid and Sidney Crosby, one of them gets a goal tonight, and I'm going to split that unit on both of them with that plus money. So Sidney Crosby, 0 goals, 0 shots on goal, and 0 goals in that first game versus Team USA. But in the game versus Finland, he had a goal and an assist and 2 shots on goal. Look for that momentum. Look for these superstars, Sidney Crosby and Connor McDavid, to step up for Team Canada in this matchup. That veteran presence that we get from Sidney Crosby is second to none. Now, Nathan MacKinnon, I don't know if you guys saw that special moment. Nathan MacKinnon getting that goal with that assist from Sidney Crosby in that last game out versus Finland, and the way they all hugged out there on the ice. It was a touching moment for sure. Nathan MacKinnon, one of the most competitive players out there on the ice. I will say that over and over again. His heart is in this game 1,000%, and it's all he's thinking about every time he hits the ice is getting the win. So you could look at Nathan MacKinnon to come out nice and strong. I wouldn't be shocked if he scored again in this matchup, but I don't want too many playmakers. I would look at him for a point as well. He had 1 shot on goal in the last game versus Team USA. Versus Finland, 2 goals and 3 shots on goal. And then when we turn to Team USA, the leading goal scorers here, Jack Eichel and Jake Gunsel. I'm still going to look at Matthew Tkachuk, though. I know he looked rattled in that last game that he played in on the bench a little bit. He's not 100%, but he will play like he's 110% out there on the ice. I have no worries at all. Remember, he's played in Stanley Cup finals with broken bones, you guys. So Matthew Tkachuk, he's going to play. He's going to play his heart out. Give me Matthew Tkachuk for the anytime goal. It's gone up to plus 300. I got it at plus 280 last night. In the first meeting versus Team Canada, he did have those 3 shots on goal, 2 hits, and only spent just over 11 minutes on the ice. I believe was 11-11. So great numbers there for reasoning for betting him. You got to love those 11-11. So USA elite skaters, head coach Mike Sullivan, he's going to have this team ready, but John Cooper on the other side definitely will have this team ready as well. Give me an aggressive, hard-hitting, lower scoring game with the overtime. So let's recap those bets, you guys. Then I'm going to get to your comments and let's make some freaking money in this game and let's enjoy this game. I'm going to be absolutely glued to my TV. Make sure you join me on X because you know the emotions that we're all going to go through, no matter if we're backing Team USA or Team Canada in this one, are going to be high. So recap time. First period, under 1.5 goals, minus 132. I got to lay the juice there. I do think it stays under the total, minus 134. But because I love the overtime bet at plus 320, I'm hoping 2-2 going to overtime. I could see it being a 2-3 game with late goals and then 3-3 going to overtime. So I'm going to be very cautious of that total of 5.5, relying on the first period under 1.5, even though every single game so far in the 4 nations has gone over 1.5 goals in the first period. It just can't happen in this one. Give me the goaltending props. Jordan Binghamton over 25.5 save shots on goal at -130. I would ult him up to over 28.5 save shots on goal and get that great plus money. I'm then going to look at Connor Hellebuck over 27.5 save shots on goal. I would ult him up to 30 plus save shots on goal. And then my top goal scorers here: Sidney Crosby for Team Canada, Connor McDavid for Team Canada, Matthew Tkachuk for Team USA. Now, parlaying again, like we've done every game here for Team Canada. Sidney Crosby for a point and Connor McDavid for a point. We still have to look at that. Nathan McKinnon, I think you can look at for a point as well. Matthew Tkachuk and Brady Tkachuk, and then Jack Eichel would be my points players over on Team USA. But you guys look for a physical, hard-hitting game. This is going to be absolutely brilliant out there on the ice. Yeah, it is absolutely great hockey. It's a non-nonsense game. It is not a nonsense game. They are playing for absolute pride out there on the ice. That is for sure. This midseason break is way too long. I don't think the midseason break is way too long. It is definitely what is needed. You got to remember the Olympics next year. We are going to have a longer break. It's looking more like 3 weeks. So that will be a huge break. Okay, you guys, that's where we're going. Let's go. Let's go Team Canada. You guys know where my heart's at, but here's the thing. If Team USA wins today, there's going to be tears because the win is for Johnny Gaudreau, and you got to love that. So either way, my heart is actually going to be happy. I still tear up every time I talk about Johnny Gaudreau. It is a very good reminder, you guys, please don't drink and drive. It doesn't only affect you. You're not only putting your life at risk, but you're putting the lives of someone's loved one at risk. And because of that, Johnny Gaudreau isn't out here playing for Team USA today. So, oh my God, so emotional still, you guys. Rest in peace, Johnny Gaudreau. Absolutely. And Matthew, it's just so brutal that they are both not in our world because someone decided to drink and drive. So you guys enjoy this game. Let's make some freaking money. Team USA, if they get the win, it is absolutely for Johnny. If Team Canada is able to win, you know we're playing for Johnny too. Everyone is playing for Johnny Gaudreau. You guys are the best in all of your bets. We will see you here tomorrow. No, not tomorrow. We'll see you here on Saturday for Puck It with Joe, the regular season kicking back off. Hit some anytime goal scorers as well as safe shots on goal for some of these goalies.